Hey guys, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video, which is going to be another retail news video. I did one of these a few, either last week or a few weeks ago. And today's focus, I'm going to be talking about Burberry's new rebrand and also Sephora UK. But first off, if you're new, hi, welcome. My name is Matt. Welcome to my channel. Please take a moment to subscribe if you like a retail news video, which I don't do that much, but I might incorporate more. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up if you like this kind of video, and leave me a comment down below if this is your jam. I usually do come shop with me around loads of different places, like retail establishments. So we go to department stores like Liberty and Selfridges occasionally, as well as like H&M, Zara, Primark, Vista Village, all other kinds of places to see what isn't new in for that season, as well as hauls if I buy anything from those places. Too Good Go Bad occasionally, grocery hauls, other vlogs, all that kind of jam. If you like that kind of video, take a moment to subscribe. It's free, there's no cost to you for doing so. Click that button down below and ring my bell to be notified of when I upload. But as I said, today's video is going to be a little bit of a different one, a retail news video. Retail news is something that I'm very interested in. I always keep up to date on a certain website, Retail Gazette, which is where I get all my retail news from. It's really good, it's free, a really good resource if you like that kind of thing. And today I'm going to be talking about Burberry and Sephora. So now Burberry's news is a few weeks old, maybe last week now, but I do want to touch on it because one, I am British and it's a British brand. I do like Burberry as a company, and I want to touch on it because it had kind of another rebrand. Now, rebrands are something that we see, and also just to let you know, everything in this video, unless I've not already stated, has a source of the Retail Gazette or is my opinion in certain things. So, as I was saying, we see a lot now when there's a new creative director or something like that, chief executive, maybe not chief executive, but creative director, certainly in these big fashion brands, big fashion, I was going to say houses and then I said brands, big fashion brands, they kind of go through a rebrand. We've seen it a lot, and especially a lot of a change of logo to, like, I'm going to, in my words, my opinion, the borification of a logo, in terms of going from what they might have traditionally had to like a block logo, which I believe is, what is that? Sans serif, because a serif font has the feet and stuff on it, where sans serif is just blocks. We've seen this, I don't know if it's most recently, but one that springs to mind of a recent change is Ferragamo, Salvatore Ferragamo. They have gone from their squiggly print, squiggly logo like that, to a block, just Ferragamo, because there was a new creative director and things like that. We don't see this too much in like the heritage brands, like the Holy Trinity, if we want to call that, the Louis Vuitton, Hermes and Chanel's of the world. Although I don't think they really change that much in terms of creative director, although Pharrell Williams is either now or becoming the creative director of Louis Vuitton men's, so there we go. But we did see it in a big, like, you know, legacy brand in terms of Dior. They didn't go for a block logo, but they went from small letter, like a big D, and then smaller letters to like just capitals Dior. So we see this a lot, and Burberry have gone through another change. So in September 20, I've got my iPad here with notes. September 22, it was announced that the Chief Creative Officer of Burberry, the new one, would be Daniel Lee, who has come from Bottega Veneta, which is a brand that he's completely overhauled, in my opinion, and it is now the Bottega that we know today, in terms of he took it from, in my opinion, a stuffy, like, traditional brand, and like gave it all of these like iconic things that you kind of think of Bottega being like a fashion forward company from. He took the intricato, is that how you say it? The weave pattern of the leather, he really amplified that up. He like gave us iconic things like the not baguette bag, that's Fendi, the what is it called, like dumpling looking bag, and like the Jodie. He gave us the like square toe shoes and things, and he really turned that brand around and created hype over that brand that I don't think personally was there before. And what they have announced, so he was announced as the new Chief Creative Officer back in 2022, which is only last year, I don't know why it's in back, but in September 22, and as of February 23, a new logo was announced. Now, in my lifetime, I was going to say, in the last 5 years, basically, what's that, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, okay, 6, okay, 6 or 7 years, Burberry has gone from this logo, which is a, what is it, serif font. I hope I said that better at the beginning. So serif has like the little feet and tall bits on, to a sans serif, which is just block. It went from to that, the logo we see now, to a new logo which has gone back to serif, which I hope I'm getting that right. So it went from serif to sans serif to serif. So basically from traditional to like a bold font, and is now going back a bit to its roots and bringing back the horse with the knight kind of logo with that back on it. Now I know there was quite a lot of disruption over when Burberry went to that new logo. It has kind of, I was very like, when that first came out, in terms of the one that was just big and bold in 2018, but that grew on me. And when the Burberry outlet store in Bicester was remodeled and everything, they used that, and there are stores that are going through changes at the moment. I know I've seen in someone's blog recently where they were in like Gatwick or Heathrow Terminal 5, and there was hoardings outside the Burberry store, and it had that the 2018 logo on, and I don't know if the Bond Street store has been redone yet, because I remember seeing that last with hoardings outside of it. So what is going to happen in terms of that will be very interesting, because they were obviously playing to a certain aesthetic in terms of the big bold logo, in terms of it was trying to be a bit more street style, and it will be interesting to see. And we have seen it in terms of the campaign images that Daniel Lee has created. It is kind of going a bit more traditional, back to its heritage, back to its roots. There is also no word on the new monogram that was created back in 2018 to go alongside the 2018 logo. I haven't seen anything on that to say if that's changing. I know that was controversial at the time, the TB logo, which kind of grew on me as well. Not that I'm in a position to buy any of this stuff, but I have opinions. So yeah, let me know down below what your thoughts are on the new logo. Do you like the direction Burberry's going as in is kind of doing a 180 and going back to its heritage and back to its roots, rather than the kind of streetwear style it was, in terms of the limited campaign images we have seen recently and the logo and stuff? Let me know down below. Second point, or second story I wanted to bring up, which was only released today, so would have been 2 days ago for you, and that is Sephora UK. So Sephora, a little background information tidbit. So Sephora bought Feel Unique, which was a website, I don't know if it was everywhere, but it was like a website in the UK which had beauty brands on it basically, and it bought that in July 2021 for £132 million. Fast forward to October 2022, Sephora UK website was launched, and it was kind of a rebrand of Feel Unique. And what have we learned today? And we kind of knew back then that there was going to be a store coming along with this, and it has been announced today that the store date, we knew it was going to be, I think it was either speculation or we knew it was going to be in Westfield White City, so Westfield London, Westfield Shepherd's Bush, one of those amalgamations of that name. And today it was announced that the opening date of it will be on the 8th of March 2023, and it's going to be 6,000 square foot. So this is Sephora's first physical store in the UK in 17 years. There has been a physical presence of Sephora stores in the UK 17 years ago, so we're talking, you know, Y2K era. And I do remember back in the day, and I think I've told these stories before, I used to go to Uxbridge a lot because that's where my dentist used to be. And I remember in the Chimes, which is not called the Chimes anymore, I don't even know what it is called now, it had a Sephora in it, and I do remember it because I remember distinctively the black and white kind of blocks. And I think at the time I distinctly remember an advert for like a Bratz doll or some kind of doll that was to do, had like a Sephora kind of with it, like a shop with it. And I just remember that at the time, and I remember saying, oh, that's a Sephora store in Uxbridge. It all adds up, kind of thing. And back in the day, Uxbridge used to have a Wendy's, and Wendy's used to be in the UK before them coming back again. Like, they came back last year or the year before, and I think people forget that as well. Like, and same with Taco Bell, that was here in the 80s and 90s, and now it's back again. So there's stuff that has been in the UK in the past, hadn't worked out before, although Wendy's I think did, in my opinion, because we used to go to the Wendy's in Uxbridge and Watford. But anyway, but Sephora was in the UK before, 17 years ago, come back. I don't know what the kind of deal was back then. I can remember that Sephora store wouldn't be very big, because if anyone's been to Uxbridge, if you're walking into the Chimes, walking towards what was the old Debenham store, you had a few kind of getting gradually larger stores on your left and smaller ones on your right. You had like a Waterstones and like kind of smaller-ish stores on the right, and on the left you kind of had smaller stores to get bigger stores up to the next. Like there was and there, I think there still is, Starbucks as you go in on the left, and then there was like, I don't know, an Accessorizer, Monsoon, I don't know if they're still there, and then there was a Gap, and then there was Next, so they were like bigger stores, and then opposite that would have been Sephora. Obviously Gap is no longer there. Next is, I think Next has expanded into the Gap, ironically, because now they are the distributors of Gap within the UK, and then Sephora is opposite. So yeah, my questions to you are, is this too late for Sephora? Because I feel like the market within the UK has got very saturated in terms of beauty stuff. We have Boots pulling out all the stops now, in terms of, if you've ever been to Boots in like Milton Keynes, for example, that is practically a Sephora. They have the brands, they have like Kylie, they have Kat Von, well, what is now KVD, Kat Von D. They have, I'm trying to think of other brands that might not have been in the UK, Makeup Forever, Fenty, that kind of stuff in there. And they have like a minis Sephora section as well as what else am I thinking? We have like, I'm just thinking of Milton Keynes because that's a place I go often. In terms of beauty in Milton Keynes, that's expanded a lot, and I don't think you'd even need a Sephora in Milton Keynes, because you have Next Home and Beauty, which has a beauty hall. You have Boots, which has a really good beauty hall. You have John Lewis beauty hall, and you have a H Beauty, which is a actual just beauty hall, high-end shop, which all of those are kind of competitors to the Sephora, which is a high-end beauty brand selling high-end beauty. So do you really need it? I know there is a few makeup brands that you can't get anywhere else, which would sell in Sephora. I'm just seeing, have I got the list of those? I'm just going to have a quick look on the internet. Have we got here? So it does say on the Retail Gazette, it says Makeup by Mario, Gwen Stefani's makeup range, Patrick Starr's makeup range, Vegamore, Skin Fix and Commodity will feature exclusively in these stores, as well as Sephora's own brand. Now, from what I remember of beauty YouTube back in the day, when like Fleur de Force used to go to America and go into Sephora and do a massive Sephora haul, she always used to say the queue to the tills is where they get you with the minis. And also I always remember them having rollable, and this would be my most, in my mind, most exciting thing Sephora would come out with in the UK, if they still do this stuff, rollable fragrances. But yeah, let me know down below, are you excited for Sephora to come to the UK physically with a physical store? And I wonder how many more physical stores there will be. And this kind of also starts the debate again around physical stores and whether they're dying out and stuff like that. Or are we going to go to a model where it is more these massive retail shopping destinations like we have in Westfield, both Stratford and what is it called, White City, because we have just also had announced that Primark in Westfield Stratford is going to double in size as well. That has been announced, whereas Primark is obviously very focused on the physical aspect of retail because they don't have an online store. I know they have click and collect in the north for very limited things like kids clothes, but they are primarily I would say 99.9% a physical retailer, brick and mortar kind of thing. So, and are we going to see the die out of like local towns and things, and main focus on like regional shopping centres? And also let me know, is it too late for Sephora? Has the market saturated? I know there was, in my opinion, and I've seen around, I haven't got any sources to hand, but there was kind of the have we reached the peak of the beauty market kind of, and is it at the tipping point to go back down? And whether Sephora UK is right, like launching at this point. It would have probably been better to launch probably 5 years ago, pre-pandemic, because that is when we saw kind of a spike, isn't it, in terms of beauty retail. But yeah, let me know all your thoughts down below. Have a debate in the comments. Sorry if the camera's moved or anything, because my iPhone ran out of storage. But as I think I was saying, if you like this kind of video, then I can definitely do more of these. This is kind of the first one I've done of, well, second one I've done of these retail news things. I can make it a weekly thing. If this is your kind of video, I can make it a monthly thing, like doing a roundup. As I said, Retail Gazette is an amazing source for all this kind of information, so definitely check that out. I'm not being sponsored, nothing like that. I just really like their website, and it gives you the latest news, and it's really good, and it's a free resource. But yeah, as I think I might have said, if you have not already, please take a moment to subscribe. It's free, no cost to you. Just click that button down below and ring my bell to be notified if you like this kind of video, which I might do more of, or if you like, come shop with me's vlogs, Too Good To Go bags, grocery hauls, other hauls, all that kind of thing. And also follow my Instagrams, which are always linked down below. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye.